So when the trout picks up the bait, he doesn't feel any resistance.
Good little fighter. There you go, good old El Diablo in there. Nice little fish.
No! God, please, no! No!
I lost it. Yeah, it broke me off.
What a loser! Good. Good.
Still on there. Yep, I got him. Good little fighter. Yeah, he's not very big, but he fights good. Nice little fish.
All right, ladies and gents, I want to take a quick break from the action to show you what's going on out there. And as usual, I'll start with the rods and reels I'm using. This here's the rod I'm using to throw mini jigs. It's a Katana ultralight rod. It's 7'6" in length. It's got a real soft tip, but a stiff backbone, so I call it a moderate fast action rod. For a reel on here, I have a Shimano Vanquish 1000 SSSP. Really nice reel. And for line, I have Sinister Strand premium fiber braid in 4-pound, and I run that up to a fluorocarbon leader of Sinister Strand fluorocarbon in 4-pound. Now this is a very nice setup. It's a very expensive setup, but you can get the job done if you want to throw these ultralight baits like these mini jigs with any 7'6" to 8-foot ultralight spinning rod and any 1000 series reel, and you can at least give it a try. If you're intimidated by the braid, because braid, there's a bit of a learning curve with it. It is tough to manage at times, especially in the wind. You can get wind knots and such. I recommend going with a fluorocarbon line, like either in the 2 to 4 pound class, and at least you'll be able to make some decent casts and get on some fish. The braid ultimately casts better, but the fluorocarbon will get the job done, and you can have a great day throwing these small baits and at least discovering whether you want to do this kind of thing more often without buying a bunch of expensive equipment before you even try it. The next rod I want to show you, this here's the setup I use for most of my bait and weight applications, obviously power bait included. This is a Daiwa Spinmatic. It's an 8-foot ultralight rod. It's got a soft tip, little bit of a stiff backbone. So again, like this, I would call this a moderate fast action rod. For a reel, I have a Daiwa Legalis 1000 on here. Really nice reel, especially for the money. I think you can get them 60 to 80 bucks. Sometimes you can get them on sale for around 50. Really solid reel for the money. When you get to the more expensive ultralight reels, like the ones we use for mini jigging and throwing the real ultralight baits, what it really comes down to is weight, and they're just a lot lighter than this. But the components in this Legalis, really nice solid reel, and I love using them for bait and weight, but you can also use them for drop shot, even mini jigs, spoons. It's a good all-around kind of do everything reel. Now for line on here, I have 4-pound Sinister Strand fluorocarbon, and there's no leader or anything. I just run the straight fluoro. What I'll do is I'll put braid backing on here, and it doesn't matter what pound test or anything like that. In fact, I have a link to a video right up here where you can see how I spool my spinning reels when you're using backing or not using backing. So I just put on a little bit of the braid backing on here so the rest of the Sinister spool can fill up the spool, and I attach it with a double uni knot, and that's it. And it's a real good idea even if you're using any line, because guys that have a lot of experience with fishing will know on a lot of these spinning reels, most of the line never sees the light of day. So if you put some old braid on there, it doesn't matter what pound test, as long as it's not too heavy, obviously. But you can save some money and time, and every time you re-spool your fluorocarbon, you only have to spool it up halfway, and you're actually using the line that's on the reel instead of wasting half of it. Because when you're ultralight fishing, you're just never going to get to that line. I mean, I don't care how big the fish is. I've caught some huge fish on these ultralight setups, and they've taken a lot of line, and I haven't got to where I was even close to being spooled. So good tip, something that'll save you a little bit of money and time, and at least it makes me feel a lot better knowing I'm not wasting a bunch of line. So now let's go to the bench. I'll show you the rigs we're using out there. So check this out. Guys, here are the two different types of Carolina rigs. One with the swivels, the old school way, and one with the Carolina keeper, which is the way I tend to like to do it. The only difference is with the swivel method and the way this rig is designed to work is that the weight here sits on the ground. That's why I use a barrel shaped weight and just run the line through it. So when the trout picks up the bait, he doesn't feel any resistance as this line just slides right through the weight here. He won't feel the resistance of the weight, and that's the principle behind it. But with the swivel, the barrel swivel version, is you can't change your leader length unless you absolutely have to retie. So that can be a downside. With the Carolina keeper, it still moves through the weight, no problem, but if you use a pair of pliers and squeeze this, you can change your leader length on the fly, which is a lot easier to do. And typically these are set up, I usually have about a 12 to a 14-inch leader to start off with. Sometimes if the water's murky, I'll go with a really short, like a 6 to 8-inch leader. And sometimes if they're holding a little bit higher in the water column, I'll lengthen the leader out. But typically, I would say 90% of the time, I just use a 12 to a 14-inch leader like you see here. And then I have on here a number 10 mosquito hook, was what I was using earlier in the video. You can also use treble hooks, like if you're using power bait, but you can pack power bait pretty good onto these mosquito hooks. Usually with treble hooks, I usually do a 16, well, I'd say an 18 to a 20. I like to keep it as small as possible, especially if the fish are being shy. A smaller bait presentation will get them to bite more often than not. Now the MouseTail that was working the best out there was this one. It's a Golden State Fishing Micetails. This one's called Sunny D. And something about this orange and yellow color works really well out there. So I'll show you how I rig them up, and I do it a lot of different ways because it just kind of depends on my mood, really. But these are some of the best ways to rig these up and get the fish hooked up when you get a bite. Typically, I'll go right through the head. So I'll go on the side of it with the hook facing down and push it through the side and then slide it out so the eye is just buried in the head. If I can get it in there. And there's a lot of hook showing. And that tends to work. Sometimes another way to do it, so I used to do this with the old school Berkeley Micetails, is I'll stick it in the neck of the Micetail. And slide it through just like that. So it's holding just like that. Another way is wacky rigging it. And that's a real easy way. Just find the middle of the worm, pop the hook on through, and let it sit just like that. Just that simple. So there's all kinds of different ways to rig these. None of them are really wrong, but those are some of the ways that work best for me. All right, guys, I hope that answered some questions. Now let's get back out to the water and see how the rest of the day shook out. My big stick minnow. A little better quality one. Oh, he popped. Or he broke me off. Son of a bitch. Good old El Diablo. They get wrapped up. Yep. Another better quality one. Settle down. Stay away from my bait and weight rod. There we go. There we go. Good old El Diablo in there. Nice little fish. All right, ladies and gents, there you have it. Good times as always at Santa Ana River Lakes. Love fishing there. And as you can see, the water level is back up to normal. Like in this older clip from a few weeks ago, you can see how low it was. So a lot of the flats that I like to fish are back and fishable. And we had a little bit more success this time. Not a whole bunch of success, but a little bit more. And we at least got some fish to the net. But this SoCal season this year has been tough for me. I've been struggling. Like a lot of the lakes have had poor water quality. I've just been having bad luck. I've been out fishing. Like you can see in this clip, I was out at Silverwood. Brutal weather, but I was just trying to get onto some holdovers and had to get out to the water, and that was the only day I had, and I lasted about 2 or 3 hours in that, and it started getting near dangerous. The wind kicked up, and rough conditions. It seemed like every time I go out, something like that was happening. Either the fish weren't biting or the weather was terrible. It's been a tough season. In fact, I was talking with Esteban. Usually we do a lot of drop shotting this season. During the SoCal season, and I think I've caught 4 or 5 fish on the drop shot total for the whole season. It's all been on mini jigs and bait or minnows. So very interesting. Hopefully next season's a little bit better, and we also got the Eastern Sierra season about to start, so really looking forward to that. But yeah, I've been out there trying. Just haven't been getting them to the net, and hopefully now things are going to look up. There's a lot of lakes that are getting good stocks coming up, so hopefully I'll get some more content out there for you guys. And with that, if you want any of the fine products I use on this channel, like the Golden State Fishing Custom Baits, the water lens sunglasses, the waders, the katana rods, anything I use, real quality stuff. There's a QR code right up here. If you click on that, it'll take you to a link tree, which has all the hyperlinks with discount codes either in the description or set up in the hyperlink. So take a look at those things, and if you like something, make a purchase, and you'll get a little bit of a discount, which is always a good thing. And like I just said earlier, they're real good products, or I wouldn't use them on the channel, and certainly wouldn't put them up for you guys to check out. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them here on the channel. It definitely helps. If you liked what you saw, please give us a like and a subscribe. Really helps out the channel. Any further questions, you can contact me on my Instagram page at Spanker Outdoors and message me directly. I do my very best to get back to you in a timely manner. And coming up, there's a tournament out at Lake Isabella we'll be going to. It's a multi-day tournament. Typically, I don't do a lot of tournaments, but multi-day ones are definitely a lot of fun. So, and it's a brand new lake to us, so it's going to be a bit of an adventure. So anything that happens, hopefully we get some good footage and we'll bring it to you. And then a couple weeks after that, we'll be up at Eastern Sierra Opener. So can't wait for that. And hope to see you guys up there. And if you see me, say hi. And if not, tight lines, and hope you guys get on some fish.